Waiting for some people to get on. Hey, y'all. Hey, Linda. Hey, Malachi. Peace, Kofi. So yeah, I'm just getting back like 9 something. So I just had something to eat and relax. I was watching let's say Noble Pod. His name's Cheeto Pod. I was watching his video. I think I linked it up on my page. So excuse me. Okay, Sha. So powwow was great. I really enjoyed myself. I'm so glad that I went. I woke up, I wasn't feeling too well, but I'm like, let me try and go. I mean, I was like, I feel bad and just turn around or something. But yeah, so I assumed some of y'all were gonna come out, but I don't know. Maybe y'all came out and I didn't see you, or I don't know. Peace, Barry. So actually, they gave me some things. The stuff. I know it's backwards. Flyers. They have a lot of interesting things. They also have this film festival coming up, Pocahontas Reframed, that they kept talking about. If you watch the live feed, I don't know if they caught it on there, but the announcer was saying that this is coming up soon, and this is November 17th, 18th, and 19 in 2017. Excuse me. It's in my voice is hoarse. I was talking to the elders like for hours. they it's interesting. I'll tell you about that later. But yeah, this is Pocahontas Reframed. It says Native American Storytellers Film Festival. So people in the area or people in driving distances will be very interesting. It's going to be in Richmond, Virginia. And you can go to PocahontasReframed.com. The mission is free, so you don't have to pay anything. And let me see. I'm going to read the back for you guys. Hey, Jaquin and Lavelle. Okay. The mission of Pocahontas Reframed is Native American Storytellers Film Festival, both educational and cultural. So it's new films that are made by indigenous people on the East Coast. So it's all featuring, I guess, from all over the East Coast, filmmakers, indigenous filmmakers with an indigenous angle to it. So, yeah, so the powwow, it was a small powwow from what I hear from other people. Somebody made a comment that it wasn't a real powwow, but it was a real powwow. What the Nottoway do is they have their powwows more like we actually had our powwows. Now, you guys are used to seeing the Plains Indians powwows or people who are imitating the Plains Indians. This is what the elders told me. They said the ancient powwows from the old days were smaller. It was mostly family, tribal members, which are family, and also they had guests sometimes. Now, if y'all listen to one of the live feeds, he was saying, the elder Chief John, I didn't get his surname because everybody was just calling him Chief John. When y'all heard, y'all kept asking me, is he black, quote unquote? Well, Chief John, he was saying that in the 1930s, a lot of this stuff that you guys call powwow culture, they made it up in the 1930s. That's not how they used to do. And the way the Nottoway do their powwows is the ancient way. They have the circle, they have food, they have things out there, they have people, and they did not let foreigners, outsiders in the powwows. It was sacred. He went on to talk about how they blessed it with sage and tobacco. They blessed the circle, to get all the negative energy out. And that's way, bring positive energy to those in the circle and those who are watching the people in the circle. Um, so like all those super colorful things and bells and all the stuff that they wear that you guys see in a commercial powwow that you guys know are newly made up things in the 1930s. So that's what the elder was saying. Now you guys, y'all heard his voice. Some of y'all heard his voice and y'all asked, was he, melanated? If you look at the man, his skin was brownish. It was like a tawny color. But his features were more like what y'all, see in the media as a Native American person. So, but the other elders were saying that he has a mixed background. So that's another thing that the elders put out and confirmed from this tribe. You said, can I speak a little louder? All right, hold up, Paul. I don't have my microphone. Let me find my microphone. Let me put my microphone on just for you. Before I get into all the information, y'all can't hear nothing. Hold on. So, let's see. Oops, this part off. And once I put it on, y'all got to tell me y'all. I'm just getting started. Now this thing heavy because it got the microphone. It's all tilted, but in my background wrinkled up. But yeah. So what was I saying, y'all? Can y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? Y'all know this chat is slow when you're in the actual live feed, so I can't see. Y'all probably can see what y'all saying, but I can't see it. Ooh, tangles. Rafiq, would you say? In this day and time, people still don't realize that there are many genomes. Hey, Mesa, excuse me. Did I say your name wrong? All right, let me read what Rafiq said. In this day and time, people still don't realize there are many genotypes to our indigenous families. Yes, that's another thing that the elders were talking about. The different phenotypes and looks and skin colors and hair textures. Now, some of y'all people going around talking about all the indigenous people were dark skinned with afros. That is not true. Y'all, I don't know where y'all got that information from, but the elder said that was not true. So, also, when I spoke to the Cherokee elder, it was an older brother. He has a melanated brother. He was like, well, I'll show y'all his picture. He didn't want to get on camera. I was trying to get him to do an interview. He's going to be at the Chickahominy, powwow. If some of y'all are coming out, and maybe I can get him on camera, or if you're coming out, maybe I can introduce you to him, and y'all can ask him questions. So he's from the Cherokee, tribe of Virginia. He said his people are up in the mountains. I think he said, what did he say? Let me see. I'm looking on the back of his picture. I'm going to show y'all his picture in a minute. Martinsville, Henry County, Virginia. I don't know if some of y'all got family there, or I know Ray might be related to them since she is Cherokee. But so he was talking about his people, and he showed me a picture of his mother. His mother is Cherokee, and he said her phenotype, like her features, which was not that much different than mine. Her nose was a little sharper. Her face was more oval. She had similar features that I do. But her skin was lighter. She was a light-skinned. She looked like a light-skinned woman. Like regular light-skinned melon. Oops, I can't see the chat. I'm missing the whole chat, y'all. But anyway, she like a regular light-skinned woman.
and she was Cherokee from Virginia. Now, he said the Cherokee came from the south and migrated up north. Um, and the Nottoway elder, she told me that Nottoway came from the north and traveled down to Virginia. So, all right, let me see if I can see y'all comments. You said much better. Y'all can hear me? All right, thank you, Valerie. Loud and clear. Kofi said, we from Africa? That's where all these tribes came from. No, the Nottoway elder said they're not African. Okay? Y'all heard me? The Nottoway elder said they are not African. She said they are Indian. They're from here. He said, so, I don't know, some other people had told me some tribes did come from Africa, but those were way in the south. So with this, back to with the Cherokee elder, he dropped a lot of jewels on me. He told me to get this book here. I don't know where y'all will be able to purchase this, but this is the official history book, volume 1 of the Nottoway tribe. And I'm about to show you. Let me show y'all his picture right now. So, his name, well, I'm not going to give his full name, but I just call him Mr. Spencer. His surname is Spencer. And he's a Cherokee from, ooh, y'all got some naps. My hair sweated out. It was so hot. I was so sweaty. But anyways, he is a Cherokee descendant. His surname is Spencer from Virginia. So this is his picture here. And look at these masks. He creates these masks. Those are traditional Cherokee masks. And like he told me the story behind it, and he said he used to do a lot of lectures. And y'all want to see his face? This is a Cherokee man. Now his skin looked much darker in person. He was darker than me, so he was a brown skinned man. And these masks right here, he said in the Cherokee language, they're called. Like he has. Let me tell you the story he told me. He said he used to tell like the story about the mask to little kids, and they used to burst out laughing because they're called booger mask. Pronounced that way. It's not spelled the same way. It doesn't mean the same thing as boogers in your nose, but they're called booger mask, and these are indigenous. You see these? Let me see if I can get closer. But those are indigenous Cherokee Anawania or Kitawa mask. So yeah, this is an old picture, he told me. So this is when he was younger. So he looks different to me. His skin looks darker in person. And yes, he had kinky hair. Y'all seem to be obsessed with hair. So he's like a regular brother, and he called himself black. Now y'all hung up on the word black, but he referred to himself as black, and he referred to the indigenous people as black. So he said they are black people. Y'all keep talking about this etymology. I don't know who came up with this etymology stuff about black. All the elders I spoke to referred to themselves as black. Okay? So y'all got permission to call yourself black again. Y'all get up in arms about the word black. We not black. We not this. All the elders call themselves black. And I know from my nation, they had ceremonies called, for the youth, for the young boys, and it was called the Black Boys ceremony. So they referred to the boys as black. Powhatan was called black by John Smith. The color black for us was very sacred. Black was the color of divinity. Okay, so he said black and proud. So being black was being closer to God. If y'all understand that. So let me see if I can read y'all comments. So your great grandmother was a Cherokee Indian. Yep, they were people. They were melanated people. So anyway, I think Norris just came in. Norris, I was telling them about this Cherokee elder I met, and he was talking. This is him right here, and he was talking about these masks. And in Cherokee, they're called booger. But he was like, no, it's not the kind of your nose. He was joking about him telling that story to children and them laughing. But that's what these masks are called. And he makes them, he says, now he does like contemporary, like a modern style with them too. So he makes the traditional, but then he does a little extra with them. So he's like an artist. And he's a historian, so he was talking about how all the different tribes that he met. He said, this is the best thing you ever heard? Oh, okay. So happy, even though this camera's looking yellow. But yeah, so, but he was pointing out all the different people in the circle and stuff to me, and he was saying that the Plains Indians look different from us. He said the Plains Indians are mixed with Mexicans. And they have Spanish surnames because they have Spanish ancestry. That's what he was saying. So they look that way because of mixing with the Spanish people. He was also saying that the ones that you see on TV with the straight hair and stuff, those are mixed Indians. Those are not the original. And I asked him, what does the original look like? He said the originals look like you and I. He said the ones that are darker were from down south. That's what he said. So the ones up north were like our complexion, brownish or lighter. Brown or light. So the ones down south are brown and darker. That's what he told me. So he pointed out one of the ladies in the circles. I don't know if you saw this lady, but he was saying that they look more like her down south. So yeah, and then he said that he also talked about the admixture. He was saying the ones on TV are mixed with the European. That typical, stereotypical look, those people are all mixed with European. They mix with Spanish out in the West. Some of them mix with the Irish. He specifically said Irish. He was like the ones that look like me and you, or the original look for the people up north. He said down south they were darker complexion. And they had, the kinkier hair than we do, because he was pointing out the difference of hair texture too, because all the people that he pointed out in the circle had the same type of, like, the curly hair or kinky hair like him and I had. And he said the ones in the south have a different texture and stuff. He says Yamasee men died? Not all died? Oh no, he didn't say nothing about Yamasee. I'm sorry, he didn't say nothing. You said they Chichimech. Yeah, he said they from Mexico, and he was also talking about the Aztecs came up here and they moved to California. That's what he said. He said a lot of them still live in California, but they originated in Mexico. So yeah, I'm glad I got to fix this thing like this, because I didn't like it the other way. I feel more comfortable with this, and I could do other things with this later. Let me tell y'all about what this elder lady said. I don't have no pictures with her. Well, I know I do have a picture with her. I'm going to post the pictures. I'm probably going to crash in a minute and go sleep after I get off of here, but I'll probably post the pictures tomorrow. She is a Nottoway elder. So, hold on, let me get back. What did y'all say? Quan, you laughing at me? Did he tell you his age? No, y'all know those elders don't tell their age. Y'all know how our elders are. They don't tell their age. Did he mention Queen Khalifa? No, he said those are people out there. See, our elders don't learn about other. They learn about their heritage. They become historians and experts on their heritage so they can pass it on. Now, if y'all were listening to live feed, the elder Chief John was talking about that, the storytellers, and how important it is that they pass on this information. Now, certain information, this Miss Jane told me that Nottoway, she said certain information we don't tell the white folks. She said because they like to steal black people's information. So some of the stuff I can't tell y'all because I know white folks is watching, quote unquote. So, what did Pa say? I'm missing everything. Yeah, so she was saying, look, she was talking so much stuff. It was a European. He was was he a professor or yeah, he was a professor in a Native American history. And she was like, he don't know nothing. She was like, he only know but so much because we don't tell the white people all our true history. This is what she said. She was so funny. I love that lady. I was sitting with her for about an hour, just talking with her. I was trying to, and she, like, immediately when I came over to the table, she was like, who your people? It's like she knew, I was related. Because I was like, for the Nottoway, I was not sure. It was like, it was an inkling with my grandfather, but they kind of helped me. So I'm going to go and look more because somebody on my grandfather's family paid some European genealogists to do their side of family. So I just left it alone. This was like in the 90s or something. They paid this lady to do it. But the elders were telling me to go back and verify certain things. Now, with my surname Epps and my surname Gibson, she was saying, yo, those are Nottoway surnames. She was like, you most definitely use, Nottoway. She was like, do these things just to confirm the genealogy. So I got to go back and do all that. But one interesting thing is that she told me about slavery. Now, some of the stuff I knew, so she was going on and on about things because, the elders love to talk. Like, if you sit down with them, they'll start telling you, like, a whole bunch of stuff. I love hanging out with elders. It's like, I was that little kid that always want to hang around old people all the time because they would tell you these interesting stories. I never got how children didn't want to listen to elders. Anyways, what she was saying is that she was like, because of my surname, she was like, yeah, your people, the Epps, they were enslaved on this plantation in the area. And she was like, all them people that was enslaved there were Indians. She said those people on the Epps plantation were Nottoway Indians. That's what she told me. She's like, all the ones in Virginia, most of them slaves were Indian slaves. That's what people don't know. Y'all hear me? She said in Virginia, most of those slaves were Indian slaves. She's like, those people were not from Africa. This is exactly what she told me. So she was saying that these plantations have these records. So she was telling me that I should go and look for this information. So that was something, a lot of the stuff that she was telling me, it was confirming all the stuff that we all are discovering and finding out. But they also confirmed that Africans were enslaved here. So I know some of y'all people are saying it's impossible and this and that. African people were enslaved here. The numbers might not be correct. She said some of the people that they were calling African were really Indian slaves. They weren't African, but Africans did come here. Africans were enslaved beside us. Africans did join tribes and mix in with the tribes, the ones that were free. But the Cherokee elder, he was telling me, he was like, a lot of those free African or free black, I don't know what this is what he said. He actually said black. He didn't say African, but he said a lot of the free African, I keep saying African. He was saying a lot of the free black men only would marry indigenous women. And that way they were guaranteed that their children will not be enslaved. and they had other certain type of benefits like protection from the tribes, I guess. If you're a free person, you had to deal with the quote unquote wild Indians and their attacks from them. Then you also had to deal with the invaders and their attacks. So he said, for to protect their family, their bloodlines, they married only indigenous women. That's what he said most of the time. So let me see what you said. The elder clan mother has opened the circle to you. You have to go grasp. Yes, she told me to do these certain things. I can't tell y'all what she said, but she was like, please do that. She's like, I really want to speak to you again, because I was telling her I wanted her phone number so I can talk with her and this. And she was like, no, do these things, and then we will definitely speak again. So I had to do certain things. I can't tell y'all everything that she said, but she definitely said they don't tell all these people the information. You said Virginia passed a few acts to classify Indians and Negroes as one and the same. Yeah, because they couldn't tell the people apart, for one thing. The people were enslaved beside each other, or they were free living in societies with each other, or intermarrying with each other. Yeah, everybody wasn't enslaved, Keith. That's what I'm saying. They were also like the see, I was talking to the elder, but I could still hear what the professor, the European professor, was saying. He was talking about the free people of color, and he was saying most of the free people of color were Indians. This is a professor. I think he's from one of the Virginia, William and Mary. I'm not sure which one, or one of the Virginia universities. But that's what he was saying. He was also confirming what she said about the slaves in Virginia. Now I can't talk. They only talk about their area. So in his area of expertise are Virginia Indians. They were saying most of the slaves in Virginia were Indians. Some of them were recorded as Africans, but a lot of them were Indians. I don't know if they all were local tribal people, or were they from other parts of the East Coast, or I don't know. I'm just telling you what they said. I'm not saying I 100% agree what they're saying. I haven't done the research. I'm just letting y'all know what they said. You said go visit with her. This is great. You coming down to the Chickahominy powwow, Keith? You should come out. It's not that far from you. All right, Bernard. The enslaved black people that were brought to North America were actually from the Caribbean. This is one of the reasons we still call our brothers and sisters Caribbeans West Indians. Probably. I mean, what they were saying is those people, a lot of those people were indigenous people, and some of them were labeled. This is what they said. Some were labeled as Africans, even though they were Indians. So they use the words Indians and black. I know people get offended, but that's what they use: Indian, black, white, whatever. Those are the words they use, I guess, from the time they came up. You have the same spirit as Mesa? No. On my grandmother's side, the Wheelers were free people of color in North Carolina. Yeah, so that's what the person was saying. Most of the free people of color were Indians. Deshaun. That's what the professor was telling. He was telling this European couple about it. Now, I know y'all watched that. Some of y'all made some comments about $5 Indians. Even though I just did the video about it, y'all still... but y'all making comments on my live feed about $5 Indians being there. And most of those people that you saw that look European were Europeans. They were not pretending to be Indians. They were not tribal members. They were local European people, or people who are in the powwow circuit. Now, some of you know there's actual people who were obsessed with powwows, and they just go, like during powwow season, they just go to every powwow, or whatever. They make a schedule. So some of those people were powwow people. The Cherokee brother, the Cherokee elder, he was a powwow person. Even though he's an indigenous person, he still liked to go to all these different powwows and meet people and collect information and exchange information with people. So those Europeans that you saw, unless they had on the regalia, they were Europeans. They weren't $5 Indians. And Virginia didn't have $5 Indians. I already told y'all. Cheeto Pod done told y'all. Only the civilized tribes had $5 Indians because they're the only ones that have rolls. R-O-L-L. Rolls. They had the rolls, like the Dawes rolls and all the other ones. There's no $5 Indians on the East Coast. There's no $5 Indians on the West Coast. You know, unless they're in these 5 tribes that were participating with the government. Now, they also were talking about a lot of these people are paid off. These, you know, certain groups of people are. That's not in a bad, it's not like they're saying these people are sellouts, but they're under certain rules and regulations from, like, federal recognized tribes are under certain rules and regulations, and they get a stipend, you know, for the tribe. She was like, this is not a lot of money, but, you know, they got something, and they got benefits. You have what we call powwow Indians. Yeah, those were powwow Indians. They weren't claiming to have indigenous heritage or not. Some of them had, you know, their Indian pieces on, whatever. Those people actually had Indian blood, but they weren't claiming to be full bloods like these people on the internet or whatever. And they understand, you know, their heritage. And that was another thing that the elders stressed. They really said because, you know, seeing me there, it wasn't like a lot of younger people there that they didn't already know, you know, who were already tribal members. So they were saying it's very important for the youth to know who they are. It's very important for the youth to know who they are and to search for who they are. And they were saying we aren't who they say they are. They're saying black people aren't who they say, who, you know, the Europeans, the colonizers say we are. We are different things. They were saying some people are of mixtures and some people are Indians. So she said, true that. This is what I'm saying 100% what they said. I'm not making up stuff. I'm not adding stuff to it. You know, that's what they said. Anybody got questions? I can show you some of the stuff that I bought. I didn't buy no trinkets or nothing. I bought like these books. I bought 2 books about the history of the tribe written by the tribe. I showed y'all the Cherokee Brother picture. I'll post the pictures with the other elders. I also got to meet Professor Arika Coleman, who wrote the book Let the Blood Be Pure. I haven't read the book yet. I need to buy it. I've like seen read excerpts of it, but it's supposed to be a lot of good information in there. I'm not sure what she was allowed to put in from the tribal history and what she, you know, and what she added to it with her intellectual commentary. She was a very beautiful person, and a beautiful person in person. She had these beautiful long locks. She was so nice. I really she treated me like family. Like all the people there, they were just very welcoming, open arms to me. He said, I thought Indian was a derogatory term, and people prefer to be called Native American. They prefer to be called Indian and black. Like I said earlier, people get offended by the word black, and people get offended by the word Indian, and that's what they refer to themselves as. Not black Indians. They either refer to themselves as a black person or Indian person, and as if it's the same thing. Do y'all understand that? Hey, Guzzo, Sean, you gonna come to the Chickahominy powwow next week? I'm gonna inbox you. So also look at the hair ties, the leather hair ties. We're at in New Jersey. No, this was in Virginia. Now they were talking about during colonization. Like some of us already know this. A lot of the tribes here, they migrated north, you know, to get away from oppression. Another thing the elder said about the Nottoways. So I was asking her. I was saying. I'm just basically was trying to confirm things, but about the Nat Turner Rebellion. And she was saying that Nat Turner was part Nottoway. She was like, a lot of people don't know. She was like, I don't know why they don't tell people that, or why white people trying to keep that a secret. That's what she said, but people don't know, you know, that he was part Nottoway. So, and also some of his descendants are actual tribal members of the Nottoway tribe, and they intermarried with other Nottoway people. Someone that on my friends list I have conversation with, she's the descendant of Nat Turner. She also said Nat Turner was his mother was Cherokee, so he's Cherokee and Nottoway, and I don't know what else. Do you know what I'm talking about? No, let me see what you're talking about. Leather hair ties. They had leather hair ties. I don't know what the significant, like all that stuff. I don't really know the significance of these things. Hopefully they'll be able to tell me, but I can't just like tell all the information on. I don't know if they want me to tell everybody this information, even though Professor Coleman wrote a book about their heritage. I don't know if they want people to tell all their business. But if you can tell me about the hair ties, Keith, you can do it in private or you can do it on here. Bernard says Black and Indian or European titles, words. Aboriginal people, of course, did not use those. Well, these Aboriginal people did use those words because they're speaking English. But they prefer the name Nottoway, which is not in their language either. So Nottoway is an Algonquian word, and they talked about that too. The beef with the Algonquians. She was called them bad boy Algonquians. I was like, oh no, I'm part Algonquian. She just went on about them and how they had beef, and how, you know, the battles and stuff that they had. She also talked about how the Algonquins were soft and they let the Europeans stay here. She was like, right when we saw them on sight, we shot them with arrows, and they ain't mess with us. And this is another interesting thing she said. She said when the Europeans came here, when John Smith came here, they greeted him, the Nottoway greeted him with English words. The Nottoway knew how to speak English. So a lot of people didn't know that. They knew several different, this is what she said, they knew several different languages because they were trading with people for hundreds of years. So some Europeans must have already come here and was trading with people. So that was interesting. I was like, they spoke English? And I remember hearing about Chief Powhatan knowing all these different languages, but I assumed it was because that he was taken by them and taught to speak Spanish and Latin and other things like that, and English. But I didn't know that he might have already knew English from the trades, trade language. So, y'all got any questions? I'm about to show y'all these books. My eyes are getting blurry. Oh, mighty quiet today. Some of y'all talking. Everybody quiet? Okay, I'm gonna have to flip this camera around. I don't know how well y'all can see it. I know y'all must not was able to see my live feeds because y'all kept saying where are the melanated people. I'm like, most of the people out here are melanated. What are y'all talking about? Like, most of the people looked like us, or they were mixed, but they clearly looked like their hair was like us. So, all right, let me see if I can take this thing off so I can show y'all. Let's see. And how to flip. Let me show my toes. My foot right there. Alright, so this is the history book that I bought from them. And you can clearly see on the cover. Okay. You can clearly see the people on the cover look like. It's not a question what they look like. Okay. So these are some of the tribal members. Can y'all clearly see these folks? All of them are quote unquote black peoples. This lady in the middle, that's the chief right here. I think I got her on the live feed. I didn't really get, she was, going around doing so much. The elders were trying to flag her down so I could speak with her. But I didn't get a chance to speak with her, so I don't know what happened. Y'all see that? Did y'all see how the camera messed up when I tried to show y'all their pictures? Let me try to. Okay. See, it's obviously a reason why these things are happening. But y'all clearly see what they look like. Alright. This is the other pictures, I guess, from powwows. Okay. I can't see nothing. Okay, now the chat's coming up. Let me see if y'all got questions. The hair ties, I will post a picture of the ones I have. Men and women wear hair ties. Okay, thank you, Keith. Is there a relation between Hebrews and Indians? No, there's no relation. Some of the people, this is from my research, and this is not what the Nottoway said, but the elder did kind of confirm it, saying that they knew a lot of different languages for trade. But, from my research, it was used, the Old Hebrew, or aka Phoenician, was used for trade. Now, from history, like I'm going down there, I saw different signs saying Portuguese and different things like that. The Phoenicians came to Virginia from Portugal. Okay, they were the aka European Moors. They originated in Africa. The Phoenicians. They went to Portugal and Spain and other areas, and they settled there. Okay, and then they came to Virginia. I don't know what the reason for it was. The Spanish Inquisition or before that, or to establish trade. But these people, in Virginia, if you look at history, there's people who claim to be Portuguese. They look like so-called black people or mixed biracial people, and they claim that they are descendants of the Portuguese. But those are the Moors, aka the Phoenicians. All right. So on the way there, I kept seeing signs like Portuguese Road, Portuguese Creek, or whatever. So I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all can do some more research on the Portuguese. I think I posted something before about the lady claiming to be Phoenician, but that was not in. I don't think that was in Virginia. I think that was in Delaware. Okay, so this is the book. You said Dutchman. Nice work. So I'm learning. She has a whole talk show. Stop. Did you see my post about the beats and song? No, like Keith, I haven't been able. I don't know, for some reason they've been blocking your feeds in my they've been blocking your posts in my feed. I haven't been able to see it unless I go to your actual page. So it's hard to go to thousands of people's page. So I'll check your page out, Keith. I said we're reclaiming our indigenous heritage. Right. Is this tribe self-sufficient? Yes, the tribe is state recognized. They made it a point to say that they were not, controlled by the government. They're not federally recognized. They still got a lot, more freedom than these other tribes. Did the elders discuss the type of medicine and the ritual? No. Remember the elder, if y'all watch the live feed, I don't know if it was cut off the first one or not. Chief John was talking about, like I said last night, how dancing was medicine. And that was when they said. They didn't talk about, I didn't have a lot of time to speak with them. So it's a Melungeons. Maybe they will open up to me once once I find out that I'm officially a Nottoway. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go to the Chickahominy and talk with the elders there too. So this is their history books. They talked about Tuscarora too, and how fierce. Like several elders were talking about Tuscarora were very fierce warriors. So let's see what's in here. See, I didn't really look through this one. I looked through the other one. They talked about the Middle Plantation Treaty. I think I mentioned that last night. But it's a lot of interest. They're like breaking down the treaties and things. And of course, these people did not keep up with the treaties. Y'all know that. So they're talking about the Turners. Okay, my family is a Turner, but I didn't think I was related to Nat Turner, but the elder insisted that I'm probably related to Nat Turner. But I have to look into that information before I go around saying that, because I don't know any of the other Turners. But she didn't see them, so I didn't get introduced to people. So, yep. Let's see what else is up here. Anything interesting? Oh, about William Byrd. Some of y'all might have seen this in your research. It says the William Byrd expedition stayed with the Nottoway during the journey to survey the dividing line between Virginia and North Carolina. The Nottoways were described by Byrd as people of mahogany skin or copper-colored ones of the Nottoway town. Byrd also observed that the Nottoways are the only Indians of consequence now remaining within the limits of Virginia. So y'all see that? Mahogany skin and copper colored ones. I told you what the elder said. So y'all got this information. There's still people who, still people who say we hate ourselves and we lying and all this stuff. What else can we say? What can we say? So look at this right here. Dark-skinned inhabitants of Virginia, particularly free people of color, were terrorized. Thus, free Indians and free people of color were treated the same. Yep. Let's see what else is in here. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to read. Let me see if I can show y'all pictures. They got some of the language here. Right. They got this picture of them. It's the Tuscaroras, excuse me, that's not them. It's from the elders. Alright. Let's see what else. Y'all got questions? I don't know if the chat is moving. Sometimes my chat freezes, but please feel free to ask questions while I'm awake, because I'm about to fall asleep soon. But what is this? Some type of Senate paper. So this is one of the maps right here of the area. You can see the tribes here. Also, another thing, well, I'll tell y'all when I flip it back around, but yeah, so y'all gonna see stuff. Trying to see if I see anything interesting. Yep. See, nothing interesting right here. This is a lot of stuff to read, so I would have to read through it. And I might post some of the stuff because this is the information that they want out. Other stuff you can't really put that information out. But let's see. Okay. Let me flip through here and see if I can find pictures because there's a lot of information in here. This is just regular people, tribal members. Right there. It's the chief again. It's tribal members. Right there. The chief and this artist who drew this picture right there. It's not really, you can't really see it good. So this was the Cherokee tribe. Oh, that's what I was about to get into. Kendra. Trying to make sure I pronounce your name right because I'm very tired, Kendra. But yeah, that's what I was about to get into. I'm just trying to flip through this book. I'm gonna break down that whole thing with the Cherokee Nottoway stuff. Some of the stuff I can't tell you because I don't want to talk bad and whatever. Okay. So, trying to see if I can see anything interesting. John Seneca. I don't know who that is. Sounds like an interesting name. I was talking about Nottoway Cherokee relations or something. I will read through this and break that down for you. Alright, let me bring this other book. Okay, this one. See, I told them that. They don't listen. Right, Paul? People don't listen. Can we get that book? You would have to get it from Nottoway. Let's just go to what is their website? They have an ISBN number if y'all want to look that up. So you can probably purchase it online or go to this is their site. NottowayIndians.org. And they have a Facebook page too, so you can keep up with the powwows. So that's the information. Okay, so what was I about to say? Try to make sure I cover everything. They just recently got some of their land back. Yeah, the Cherokee is actually on the ancestral land, like where they had their, like one of their cities. But yeah, hold on. Put the east. They always try to put the east in the west, right? That's why the elders they specified that certain people, the ones that look like Mexicans or whatever, those people are from the west and they are mixed with Spanish and Mexicans. They call them Mexicans, but he's saying they have Spanish surnames. He meant Spanish people. So these are some of the people, tribe. Now this one, y'all saw the difference from that book and this one. The pictures, I don't know who put this together, but these pictures are very lightened. They're kind of white. I don't know what kind of Photoshop they use. It's kind of whitewashed. But I'll show you the people. Now, y'all just saw these same people in the other book. Look how they look in this one. And these people look so much darker in person. So they kind of lighten up the pictures. This lady, she's related to the elder that I was telling you about. Is the elder in this picture? No, she's not in this picture. But she is the granddaughter. And she's much darker in person, even though she looks European right here. Her hair is pressed. You can see, in person, you can see her edges. So... And the chief, she had, her hair is very kinky as well. I don't understand why they try to airbrush these pictures. Make folks lighter and brush their hair out. I don't get what the point is. Was the Aztecs Indians there this year? No, the Aztecs weren't there. There were some Navajos there. the Aztecs will be at the Chickahominy. They said that was something they were all excited about because people like to see their dances. But they said they're going to be at the Chickahominy powwow. If I skip stuff or I stutter or whatever, that's because it's very late. But yeah, this is the Indian Circle Square Foundation chair. This is her right here. She got that Iroquois nose. So, hey Fatu. I said that's white supremacy for. Yeah, her sister, the elder. I don't know if this is an old picture or she's just way younger. The sister is like my complexion. The elder. I don't know if this is her real complexion or they lightening the picture. But you clearly see what she looked like. Like, if you see her down the street, that's a light-skinned woman. So, this is a poster for Pocahontas' refrain that I was telling y'all about earlier. The Storytellers Film Festival, if you guys would like to come out for that. It's free. So, I'm most likely going to come out for that one. Okay, so this is Nottoway dress. This is the appearance of the Nottoway. I'm talking about what they wore. Excuse me if my nails look. I was out there on the field, but yeah, they had moccasins. You see what they're talking about? Match coats. That match coat is like a shawl. And you see this brother right here. So, will there be for that one in Richmond? Yeah, the Pocahontas Revealed Film Festival is in Richmond, Virginia. So I love it. Our people look like tribal members, not people from West Africa. Yeah, for two, you got to go back and read listen to the. Okay, sorry about that. This thing said it's pausing because it's loading. Okay, let me cut this thing off. I'm gonna cut it off. Hopefully, you get a better connection. So this is Indians Going Hunting. So that says this is. Number British trade goods to the Yuchi. So that's a Yuchi, I guess, was in the area. This is leggings. You see the skin right here. This is some type of blackened leather or something. It says black was sometimes replaced for blue. And the color is symbolic character. It's like one thing that the elders were saying, like everything that they wore and the stuff that they carried, all of it has significance and spiritual significance to it. So this is just talking about the colors black and green and yellow that they wore. So, that's how we dressed over here with the leggings. We didn't wear all them colors and stuff with the Plains Indians. Now, this brother was out here. I don't know why they look. Y'all can see this? How they pixelated his picture. I mean, he's like a regular light-skinned dude. That was out there. Excuse these terms. Excuse these terms that I use. I'm just trying to get the average person to understand what I mean. You said you were telling me something, sis? Oh, let me go back to what question. See, my brain is not working good. Oh, about the people not being African. Well, they were making a distinction between the indigenous black people and Africans. And I was telling people that Africans did come here according to the elders. But also, one of the elders said most of the Indians that were enslaved in Virginia most of the people enslaved in Virginia were Indians and not African. And she was saying, in that county, she was referring to my ancestors. She was saying that though they were Nottoway Indians that were enslaved on a certain plantation. So, and I said they referred to themselves as Indian or black, and they were not, they were not from Africa. So, this is just basically talking about these outfits. All this stuff is talking about the outfits. That's the picture of the Tuscaroras and Nottoway right here. This is Nottoway. Nottoway chief and colonial whatever he is. Okay, let's see what else they got in here. The buckskins. This is important. Here's something right here. So the first of these queens, talking about the queens of the Wenoke or the Tuscarora queens, okay, was dressed with petticoat skirts made from the European manner, and had their hair, which is generally long and thick and black, tied full of stuff, wool, such as red, green, yellow, and a variety of colors. She likewise had a large belt about her full of their peck or wampum. So, oh yeah. So yeah, that's what I was telling them. Safa, the elders were saying that they were Indians. They were not from Africa. Let's see. They were saying, like I said, she was saying most of the Indians from Virginia were, most of the slaves in Virginia were Indians. Excuse me. So this is just some of the stuff here. You said, of course they were. Yeah, a lot of people don't think that we're making stuff up. This is elders who know their own history. And she was telling me specific plantations who had Nottoway Indians enslaved there. And she said my ancestors were possibly some of those people. See, I haven't done like I was telling them earlier, I didn't do my genealogy on my father's side. They paid some European person to do it. So they're telling me to go back and confirm what was done. So, but they were saying all the people with my family surname, two of them on my father's side were Nottoways. So, yep. So they're just talking about the paint. Okay, women's hair. You see that? Iroquois men had their hair cut close, only a circle left on their head. That's also a misconception that we all had long hair. And Chief John was talking about that too. Some of the people had very long hair, some of them didn't. It's just different cultures. So the Iroquois, some of them cut their hair. Nottoway and other Iroquois adorned their hair with small tabs of silver, brass, fastened beads or ribbons in their locks, and tied several bits of wool shroud of various colors, such as yellow, green, red, and the like, as the women do. Iroquois of both sexes oiled their hair with bear grease, which was used as a skin protectant and base for paint. Bird said the Nottoway, the bear's oil, which they ointed their persons all over, made their skins soft, and at the same time protect them from species of vermin. So, just describing the people. This is weird. It said they buy red colors of the Indian traders, where they paint their faces all over red and commonly make circles of black about their eye. Another circle of white. Is this the traders? Oh no, warriors. Those are for warriors. Okay. So, who said they were Hebrews? Somebody in the chat for two said something about Hebrews. And the elders ain't saying nothing. Okay, y'all still there? They keep messing me. Said, okay, Bernard, I'm back, y'all. Bernard says the Iroquois Confederacy consists of the black tribes. No, Powhatan, Algonquians, and Lenape and Nanticoke are all Algonquians. They're not Iroquois Confederacy. Some of them are Powhatan Confederacy, some of them Lenape Confederacy. It says likewise the Yamasee tribe of South Carolina and the Muskogee Confederacy. Right. Yeah. So, alright. And this is one of the tribal members. I think she was there. It's like regular light-skinned woman. But all the people in the tribe are very well educated. You know, they went to Duke and all these different colleges. Some of them were professors at colleges. So these are not like these, you know, these are credible people. So I'm just saying that I know a lady that is Hebrew and their customs are extremely similar to Indians, even wore the headdress. That's interesting. Well, they probably had trade with them. They probably had a lot of trade because, like I was saying earlier, the tribe spoke the Old Hebrew, which is Phoenician. So this guy was there, if y'all saw him on there. I think this, I don't know if this is his sister or something. He looked like a biracial guy. Like in person, you can see his kinky hair. On this picture, like I said, they kind of airbrushing some stuff and kind of lighten the picture. But he looked a regular, I mean, you can clearly see he's melanated in person. So, one of the elders. Okay, another elder. He was out there. So these people are so nice. Oh, this is something interesting. Powell is actually located near Bacon's Rebellion. Out there. Let me see if y'all still talking. So tribe spoke Hebrew. Yes, the tribe spoke Hebrew. That's one of the, in English and other languages. That's what one of the elders told me. They knew all these things when John Smith arrived. He said, I never heard an elder say anything about Hebrew. No, she didn't. She didn't say that. That's what I was telling him. She didn't say nothing about Hebrew. She said they learned a whole bunch of different languages. It's the first time you heard it on the street. And either way, if they spoke it or not, it was for trade. They weren't Hebrews, though. They were not Hebrews because a lot of those tribal elders were Christians. So if they were really Hebrews, I think they would have said something about it. Okay, so what does this say? Did you know series? Bacon's Rebellion, whose bronze tablet currently adorns the pulpit and the speaker of the house. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this one's breaking down some of these things. These, I've read a little bit through them. You said correct. Yeah, she didn't say Hebrew. She said they know various different languages. And I was telling them about the history of the Portuguese, if you heard of that. The people who called themselves Portuguese in Virginia and North Carolina. Those people were descendants of the Phoenicians, and they were foreigners. They came from Africa to Europe, and they came here, I guess, either before the Spanish Inquisition or afterwards. And they had their own little things. They were not indigenous, though. So who are these so-called Indians, Native Americans here? What do you mean, who is the Indians, Native Americans? Well, I was saying earlier, Tony, the elder, he was saying that those people that you see on TV that they call Indians, he said those are mixed people. Or they're Plains Indians mixed with Mexicans and Spanish folks. So they look red and look white. They're mixed people. And he was saying that the climates made people, this is what he said, we had different looks throughout the regions. He said more up north, the people were brown or lighter, and then south they were brown and darker. And he said in the west was a whole different thing because those people mixed with the Spanish early, and they mixed with other traders like the Irish. That's exactly what he said. So they look pale or whatever because they're mixed. So the ancestors were nomads. Yeah, exactly. They were nomads. He said Mongoloids. Some of them Mongoloids, some of them were not Mongoloids. They're mixed. Okay. This source is from American slavery. You see that? All right. The massacre. Let me read the whole. No, I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's basically talking about Bacon's Rebellion. Y'all can see this right here. The massacre of the Ochinichis. It's probably more than Berkeley had expected in the expedition. He evicted neither surprise nor anger during the Bacon's absence, and he himself had somehow become convinced that it was no longer feasible to distinguish between friendly and unfriendly Indians. The view that all Indians were enemies had been self-fulfilling prophecy, an attitude that necessarily turned friend to foe. And Berkeley was not prepared to admit that the transformation had taken place. Quote, I believe that all Indians are neighbors and engaging with the Susquehannos. He spoke to Colonel Thomas Goodrich on May 15th of 1676. Quote, therefore I desire you to spare none that has the name of Indian, for they are now our enemies. Now that's interesting, and I'm going back to this. Why is the source coming from American slavery, American freedom? Talking about the Indians. Okay? So, this is basically, I guess, the Occaneechis, which were a Siouan speaking tribe. I guess they were enslaved because a lot of those people disappeared. You don't hear nothing. You don't hear about them no more because they don't turn to black folks or white folks. They don't mix themselves out. So I love meeting elders. They give you I know you feel. Yeah, that's how I felt. I felt like they knew me. I felt like I knew them. He said, I know some in Washington State that live worse than Project folk. That's because they're in those federal recognized tribes and they can't do nothing. So, alright, so right here, these pages are trials of Indian slaves. Right here, I don't know if y'all can read these. These are Nottoway slaves. This is Surrey County. Right here. It suggests that long ago, in 1699, Virginia Indians across linguistic differences were colluded to resisting colonial encroachment on their trade and diplomatic relations with distant Indian tribes. This excerpt also features an anticipated trial of a Surrey County Indian slave, Jamie, for the alleged killing of his master Thomas Page. It is unclear, but the language seems to hint that Indian slave trials may have been handled under a different law than trials of other slaves. We anticipate researching these possible legal differences among slaves during our next journal. So, he said Nat Turner. Yeah, Kofi, earlier I told you the elder said Nat Turner was in part Nottoway. I also told you one of his descendants said that he was part Cherokee. So, and she was saying, I don't understand why the white folks will not tell people this. She thought that was just weird, that they wouldn't tell people this. So obviously you see they're hiding information. And Dan Calloway is doing a lot of research on this. You guys already seen several videos that he's done on Nat Turner and all these question marks that's going on, and hopefully he'll be able to see. Let me see if did I tag him, because this, I'm gonna make sure I tag Dane in this so he can add this to his if he's not already on here. Okay, no, he's not on here. But yeah, so y'all see this information. This is the trial right here. Whereas obedience to an order of I don't know what this Y means. Obedience of a 2nd of November, the great men, blah blah blah. The great men of the Nottoway, Marinan, Nansemon, Pamunkey, Chickahominy, Rappahannock, Nanatico, Indians appeared before His Excellence and the council, and being examined concerning a peace they intended to make with some foreign Indians. So, you see it right there. Okay, right here. What is this talking about? Whereas it has been presented by Thomas Holt, Sheriff of Blank County. I guess the Y means they don't know what it says, because they're translating from cursive. Okay, so the Sheriff of Surrey County, basically, that Jamie, an Indian slave belonging to Blank Estate of Thomas Badge, late of Blank said county, deceased, have committed to and now remains in Blank common goal of Blank said county, blah blah blah. So they're just talking about the trial of the Indian slave, and this guy is from Nottoway. He said, "This is incredible that you were able to share this information." Yes, I'm sharing this information. Hopefully I have not offended anyone from the tribe, and they will, not reach out to me anymore. But I just thought it was important that you guys know this information. My intention is not to offend anyone or give sacred knowledge out, because I have some of the stuff I did not tell you guys. Alright? Did you know, unfortunately, few scholars are so interested in the written about late 17 and early 1800s, blah blah blah, between free blacks and free Indians. And this is one of the executive journal. 2 Indian traders being free Negroes. Y'all see that? 2 Indian traders being free Negroes. Hey, Erica. Okay, and they got their name. The name of the people in the council. So yeah, they're talking about them again, Indian traders belonging to the government. Y'all see this? Whereas the Deputy Governor of North Carolina have made complaint that 2 Indian traders belonging to this government, being free Negroes, have stirred up the Indians called the Wendaws to make war upon a nation of Indians called the Wawees under the government of South Carolina. And it appears to this board that 2 Negroes living in this government, one named Fontaine, y'all know that's a black name, quote unquote black name, one named Fontaine and the other Herbert. Now you know those Negro names. Fontaine and Herbert trade with said Wendaws, and may need justly suspect be guilty of such ill practices. Y'all gotta understand that the people who were in amnesty with the government were not allowed to have any type of interaction with these, the quote-unquote wild tribes. So this is why they're going to trial, because these 2 Negroes, Indians, were trading with this other group, this other tribe that was not in amnesty with the government. And you see that they said that these Indians belonged to the government, these free Negroes. Okay? So blah blah blah, just saying that they're guilty. And that they be careful to give no ground of complaint to any Indians, either by their actions or their abating, certifying them to all persons trading with the Indians that have any complaints that be made against them or that any of them in the hereafter, blah blah blah. So y'all see it right there. All this stuff is available to the public. We just not looking hard enough. So That's talking about Fontaine and Herbert again, and referring to them as Negroes. These tribal members. Okay, but they deny that they had relations with these Indians, so they're trying to get off the trial. So that's Fontaine, John Fontaine. They said that they, let's see what it said. Herbert being called in by His Excellence, charged to behave themselves peacefully amongst the Indians further, and then dismissed. So I guess they got off. That's good. But you see how they try to regulate people? Like, these people are owned by the government, and they can't talk to other tribes. They can't trade. They can't make, I wouldn't say they're making money or whatever. They're making trades. That's the same thing. That's what we did. We trade before we had money. So, okay, this is talking about the Tuscarora and the Nottoway. Right here. So, prohibiting the sale of rum, some stuff. So, it says amazing what has been done to, yeah, but you know, it's all coming out now. So, excuse me for breathing hard. I'm exhausted, but I'm trying to show y'all this information. You know. So, selling strong. So they couldn't sell strong liquors to the Indians. You see that? Order that the said Massey do not for the future presume to sell any rum, brandy, or other strong liquors to any Indian whatsoever, on the pain of being prosecuted for the same with the utter severity. He said these are very smart Europeans. Yeah, but you see what's going on here. These laws and these tricks, mind games. So y'all saw these people in the other. But y'all see what I'm talking about, how they lighten the pictures in this one. And they kind of airbrush, like even her hair. They kind of airbrushed that joint. Alright. So, see these people. This lady, I met her. She's like my complexion, but you see how she look on here. This lady. So you said you laughing. It's true. It's smart, like you said, smart folks. Smart folks. And these people are from another tribe. These are Plains. I think they're Plains Indians from that tribe. I'm not sure about this guy. I know she is. I believe she's Navajo. He said, "You cool for a scholar." I'm just a nerd. I'm not, not no real, like, well, I'm a scholar. I'm not no master teacher. Nothing like that. I just research, like y'all do. Y'all research too. Some of y'all scholars on here. Right? So, yeah. Oh, this is an interesting map right here. So if y'all want to see the languages. And this area right here, like for the nomads. You see that shifting area? This is the Cherokee area. Up in the mountains. I don't know if Ray's on there. Let me tag Ray. That's the Cherokee. Oh, Ray's. Yeah, I think she's on here. Or I already tagged her. Right here is where you see the Siouan language. So you can see the Occaneechi. You see the Monaghan, the Saponi. Sapani, excuse me. Manahawk, and these other places. And right here, you see the Powhatan. It's called pronounced Powhatan. That's how We pronounce it. That's how the elders of Nottoway pronounce it. I know people keep saying Powhatan. Powhatan. It's not Powhatan like Manhattan. Even Manhattan is mispronounced. It's I can't pronounce it now. Now I'm psyching myself. But this is Powerton. So Manhattan. That's how it's supposed to be pronounced. This is Nottoway in the Miranan. I know for 2 you're related to the Miranan. So, but y'all see these. Now see right here, these lines ain't drawn right because Powerton had more areas up in here. Now this is probably debatable. Probably during the time, I don't know when this map. Oh, this is the 1800s. Yeah, maybe the 1800s. You know, years after colonization, because a lot of us left and went up north to New York and New Jersey, or joined other tribes. So the land was taken. Okay, look at this. Nottoway Indian family. What would that look like to you if you take away the title? And they also told me one of the members is actually a pastor in Virginia. So this is the Turner family right here. Yeah. So regular melanated folks, and they keep talking about these people is mixed, but that's not true. Some people are mixed, but they don't look like that because they're mixed, is what I'm trying to say. So who is this? Chief Archie Elliott. So all this stuff is available to the public. So, and that's him as an older man. Let me show you his youth. See how he look as a youth, and then him as an elder. And this is him again. So he's the judge. You see this? Former military and turned judge. And he was out there. He was sitting near me doing the thing. I didn't want to turn the camera on everybody. I didn't really get to speak to him, but he was out there. What do you say? You would notice the same family names between the Virginia, North Carolina, and other states. Yeah, because we intermarried. Like after they came, ransacked the land. Europeans ransacked the land. People ran to different tribes for protection, or the people turned into free people of color, and they intermarried to protect, like the elder said, to protect your bloodline, you're going to marry an indigenous woman. So, this is just stuff. Just radio. I guess I got a blog talk if y'all want to check that out. Every Friday at 7 p.m. So, 5,000 listeners. 500,000, excuse me. That's good. Alright, this is Nat Turner. He's a member. He's a descendant of Nat Turner. I guess it's his company. Has a farm. So if y'all want to buy from, if y'all local, y'all probably can buy from his farm. Some of the elders sitting down at the bottom. Those two people, I think they were out there. I can't be sure. Okay. It's a few, my fourth, excuse me for this, I'm parched. County. Well, they might have been Nottoway. Nottoways, all that area. Okay, so this picture is the Nottoways. Some of the tribal members. Now this lady, this is Yvonne Epps. I met her today. She was very nice. So we were working together to see if we were related. So we're trying to do that. She was encouraging me to take a DNA test to find ancestors, not for that geographical mess, but to find ancestors. And she showed me her DNA test, and it was just weird. It didn't even make sense. But she was like, she just used it to meet her ancestors. I mean, her the current family. So she's met like a lot of cousins on there. So I think this lady was out there too. A lot of them were out there. Now this is one of the former chiefs. He left and created the Chiranaka tribe. He left the Nottoway tribe and created the Chiranaka. And I was a little confused because I just thought it was actually one tribe and shit. And the elder was like, no, we are not Chiranaka, we are Nottoway. That is the tribe that the chief left and he created and took people with him. So, now Chiranaka is one of the languages, one of the names that they were called. The elder claimed that that's not their original name. Now I don't know if, well, I was listening to him speak, I was led to believe that that is the ancient name, and she was saying that it is not. Now, she didn't mention what the actual name is. I don't know if that's sacred knowledge or what, but she was saying that the Algonquians, my other people, created the name for them. And they had, I took pictures, so I might be able to post it. But she showed me the language book that they had, and it broke down what Nottoway means. It means like hunted something. I think it was a little sneak dissy name. It's basically saying that they hunt these people. I don't know. Something like that. I gotta go back and read it again. But yeah, so he was out there. I think he was in the circle. These people. Right here. Or did I go this one? That's the judge, his wife. He was out there. One of the elders. So, yeah, I got some questions. I see some people just walked in. Just came into the group. And so yeah, any more questions? I'm about to get off. I see a lot of y'all leaving out. So yeah, just talking about the dances and stuff. More people out here. That's Professor Coleman. So, do you have a Facebook group? No, I do not have a Facebook. Well, I had one, but I should make another one. I'm in so many groups already as it is. He was out there. He did pretty good. I think I got him on camera. Okay. Now, y'all were asking who was the guy speaking. The guy y'all said, quote unquote, sound black. So this was the guy. This is Chief John that was on the mic. He was one of the MCs. Right here. So y'all can see him. You said I was invited late. Yeah, I couldn't invite everybody. I'm so exhausted. I'm sorry, Talisa. I thought I tagged you earlier on. Someone else might have tagged you later. I'm not sure. I missed a lot of people. But you can go back and watch it. So all these pictures are tribal members. you see. Those kids were out there too. They were messing with those spears. I showed y'all. Okay, so that's it. Let me turn it back around. Hold up. Turn it back around. Thank you for tuning. Yeah, you see I'm exhausted. I'm tired. It was a long day. I had to commute, so I had to drive. So any questions? About to go to sleep. Final questions. I'll give y'all a second to see if I check this chat. Alright, well, thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you guys gain some knowledge from this information. I hope you guys do something with this information. Like the elders said, they said they wish that the young people will find out who they are, and they will search who they are, and they will come back into their true identity. So that's one of the things that the elders stressed. They were just happy to see me out there and asking questions and like very excited about the culture and everything. Now I had these cute boots on. They kept asking me about these boots, where I get them from. I'm like, I got them online. It's not. It wasn't traditional. It looked like traditional boots, but it wasn't. It's from Minnetonka. So, but y'all might see them in the pictures if I post pictures. I was so exhausted. I don't know if I'm gonna post. I'm just might crop myself out the picture. I'm just joking. I looked okay. But yeah. Alright, so thank you guys for tuning in. Please share the video. Follow if you're not following already. You know, and get to find out who you are, like the elder said. You said, do they seem receptive to new awakening of many of our people now, or is it regarded suspiciously? They had no idea about no new awakening. They didn't say nothing about it. Like I must have been one of the only people that came out there. They had like they know. I didn't inform them of it, but they didn't seem like they knew anything about it. I was talking about some of the videos I saw from the other chief that I showed you, the male chief, the Cherokee chief. They were like, they got videos on YouTube talking about us. I'm like, yeah. So they don't know nothing about all that, all the stuff that we're doing, and how we want to know about the information. That's why they kept stressing that we should look for this information. We should know about this information. We should find out about ourselves. That's what they were stressing. So, but thank you all again for watching. I'm trying to post like I said, I'm trying to post the pictures tomorrow. If y'all got questions, feel free to ask on the post, and I'll try to get to you. Hopefully, you know, I haven't offended anyone with this information. I'm not trying to misrepresent or nothing. I'm just going by what they said. They actually told me. So, and from my own personal research, what I found out. So, thank you guys, and peace.